I was going to ask a question that maybe bridges us from this like middle school era into your adult career life.
Yeah, into my 90s.
Yeah. But you mentioned Defying Gravity was a song that you listened to as a teen or
You know
as
what's
a kid.
funny? I thought it was
It is Defying Gravity.
I thought it was Define Gravity.
That's why you defined Saturn's rings.
I was like, oh, great. This is a
I
great
can do it. Ariana, I can do it.
segue to the Roche point.
Define Gravity.
I'm sorry. Go.
Defying Gravity as a song that you would listen to a lot. But I'm curious, around that time, what were some other musicians or artists? What music was present for you?
This is such a like vivid time in my brain for music and like
Perfect.
what I loved. So this is great. I can do that. I remember this chapter.
Yeah.
Great.
We'll stick to this one. No, but my favorite playlist was all India RE, Imogen Heap, and Broadway.
Wow.
It was the most
Feelings.
bizarre.
So many feelings.
So many feelings, so much information, but I think also perfectly made me. You know what I mean? Like that makes a lot of sense. I'm like, that's exactly makes sense. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that was my playlist.
That's such a good combo.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think there was like 2 Natasha Bedingfield songs in there as well. Love.
So Ariana, obviously you have like one of the most illustrious music careers
God.
of all time.
Jeez.
We're going to skip right past
No, I don't.
Yes,
Well
you do.
documented.
You definitely do.
That's good. Let's skip it.
But we're going to go to Eternal Sunshine. So we want to talk all about the album, but let's start with the music video, The Boy Is Mine.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So
Starring Penn Badgley.
Yes. So my first
Featuring,
question
I guess.
is,
It's a feature. Right?
why Penn?
True. It was starring.
No, that is my first question.
That
Why
is a
Penn
great-
for this video?
That is a great question.
Well, you really inspired it with you, honestly. Christian Breslau,
director.
the director, yeah, amazing director, he was actually one of the first people to hear any of this album because we had a FaceTime early on in the process of finishing the album when I just had demos and roughs of everything, and I just loved him. He had all the right references. We had the same taste in everything. And I was a fan of his work, but I didn't know what he would be like. He's a Floridian. He's a Panthers fan. It's cosmic. He's just like this creative cosmic legend. He's wonderful. But I sent him all the voice notes. And as soon as he heard The Boy Is Mine, he was like, this reminds me of the show You. Wow. Whatever we do with this video, let's ask him to do it. He had that
Really?
idea
I didn't even know
before
that.
anything else.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I told you on the longest flight in America when we were flying home.
Which was actually not that long. We just were in we were in a wormhole or something.
What you don't know is we flew home after the shoot. We flew back to New York with my team and my
in the middle
mom
of the night.
and you and my mom, and it was just we spoke for like an hour, but we thought it was the whole flight.
Yeah, it was an hour and a half. And I remember at some point your mom goes,
Before everyone fell asleep.
she's like, we must be ready to land soon.
She's like, you won't shut up about the Roche point.
we're all like so delirious. I did not know how I was gonna keep, like engaging.
But you so generously flew from finishing a day of shooting on you.
That's true. I flew
to
from
come
set to
in.
set to
to overnight. Like it was the nicest.
He was already in character.
Most
Right,
generous thing.
It was,
Yeah.
but it was very funny because I got to know your mom, but then all of us were talking for a while, and we all swore that we were talking for about 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And then it was like barely 90. And we were just like,
Time flies.
so
I'm gonna crush
tired.
my ambient.
And we were like, all right, good night.
We all just like try to sleep standing up.
Amazing. Okay, so Chris thought of Penn.
Yes.
And then
But I was like, obviously, yes, because I'm a massive fan. My other screen name we won't talk
Obviously.
about.
Obviously.
No, I'm kidding.
you'll tell me later.
No, but I was like, he'll never do it. But of course, like absolutely ask him today. But yeah, then the concept kind of came together because I texted him and I was like, I want to marry the two ideas together somehow. How can we do this sort of you type thing where I'm obsessed with this person and I'm also just a super villain? Like this song is like me playing the villain to the nth degree and like just kind of, how can I be this cat? And like, and so he wrote this brilliant treatment and then Penn made it so much better. Like you were so amazing because you're so invested. I'm sorry, I just have to, he was like, we had many FaceTimes before we did the actual shoot where you asked the most thoughtful questions. And it was so nice. Everything from like the songwriting and my point of view in the song. And you were like, I've really been thinking about this. And the difference between the original versus this one is like, the original one is competitive between two women, but this one's about you and your own insecurities. And no, you were really...
yeah, no, that's true. But the way that it was pitched to me by my team, I think they misunderstood. They thought it was an actual cover or like an adaptation of The Boy Is Mine. And so I'm listening to it and I'm like...
waiting for the Boy Is Mine to come in.
You know, look, I get that it's got the same title, but like I'm just not hearing it. And so I was really trying to connect the dots. And I'm like, okay, so the original, we have two women, right? Okay, two women, right? It's not one, it's two.
You were very thoughtful,
And in that
though.
one, they're competing. But in this one, who's she competing with? She's competing with herself.
No, but it was really thoughtful and caring. And you were like, what is my intention? How do we end up at the happily ever after? I'm not buying it. The love potion thing, maybe they don't need the love potion. He pitched the idea.
Oh, wow.
He wrote this whole
That's
thing.
great.
Literally, it's amazing.
Maybe we
it
should
really
keep
is.
her around.
It's great. It was so, I was just
Also,
so thankful.
I did pitch, just for you to know,
Yeah.
and for anybody who's listening.
Oh, you're bringing it up?
I did pitch that I dance.
I never brought it up again.
I had to. I was like, I'm probably never going to be in a music video again.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm like, this is the one chance I have to be in an R&B, because I think it's the most R&B flavored song of your, you know, of this record.
Yeah, for sure.
Certainly not your catalog, but this record.
For sure.
So I was like, I don't think I'm going to have the opportunity again. And if, you know, and I think what I was doing is I was playing with the idea of being the object rather than the objectifier. You know, typically I'm the abuser. Not in real life, just in my show.
In my work, of course. In my work.
And I just thought like, oh, this is nice. So then let me just like do the thing. And I did pitch.
Do the thing.
I
You have
did
to say
pitch
what
it.
you actually said. I do.
Tell us,
May
tell us.
I?
Yeah. What was
Do
your
you mind?
interpretation of what I said?
Well, you said, listen, and you said, I remember it so clearly because it was the most incredible moment ever. I had no idea where this was going, especially because everything leading up to it was so like
Confusing.
the man that I'm playing and the intention. No.
It probably was confusing because I was like, I don't know how to say this
My
directly.
intention with this ending.
So the thing about Saturn and it's gravitational. Can I dance in this?
Yeah, literally.
Wait,
He
so
said, I do this one spin thing. This it was this long Saturn Roche point thing. And then he was like, now, I wouldn't say I'm a dancer per se, but I do this one like spin move thing is what you said.
What I said was, I don't have a signature spin move. I think I was saying
You
like,
don't? That's what it was presented as. It felt like that.
So I think
I'm sorry.
So
it felt like that to receive.
So what I was saying was like, I
Penn.
can do
lying.
like a spin move.
That's
I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
This is the first lie he's ever told.
Okay.
I'm bending the truth the way Saturn's gravity bends.
What's the difference
light.
between what I can do is this one spin thing and I
have
have this one?
Well, just all it is to clarify that I don't have a signature spin move. That's
It's the
all.
one move you
That's
can
all.
do.
Yeah.
And we
But
can
you
do more.
can.
No, I have a
But you,
whole.
no, I was trying
I've
to,
got a bag. as they say.
understand.
But you can do a one spin.
I don't know. I mean, I was just gonna say. I was like, because I knew that I couldn't do a full dance. That would be absurd. So I, was.
It's not too late for the director's cut.
Yeah.
I was because I was really trying to lean into him being the object and performing for her, whereas she thinks that she has to perform for him, and just trying to just all of that and dance.
So it,
maybe
did
we'll
it
get a
end up?
little-
No. There's no dancing in it. There's no
No,
dan-
it went away.
There wasn't really time for it, and I knew there wasn't. I was like, I don't know, there is time for this. So I timed from the beginning of the bridge to the end of the
This is
song.
what I'm
Right? I think it's like 44 seconds. And I was like, so you've got 44 seconds to tell this kind of like, you know, this like coda, you know? And Christian's like, yeah, I already know what I'm gonna do. Thanks, bro.
I'm crying.
It was so funny.
Christian was
Shout out to
regretting
Christian.
everything. Why did I do
What are the
you were so-
chances Penn can direct your next
But
music video?
Yes.
we were really laughing because at this point, because I was nervous to ask, because I'm just like, should I even be doing this? Like, am I going to regret this? Am I now going to have to dance in a video and I can't? Really, it's like, you know,
No,
but
it's a
but
safe space.
but we were really laughing.
Dance or
Yeah.
no
We
We
dance.
were really laughing.
It was
Penn,
fun.
what was your first impression of Ariana?
Well, it was that that those FaceTimes really, and I think once we started to get to laugh, that was when, because the first FaceTime we had was a little more formal, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the second
It was,
one,
like,
I think we were
planned.
really, the second one, I had just woken up and I was like, I didn't have time before going to work. And I was like,
I love
we
that,
got to
though.
talk right now about this spin move.
But that's my life. Like, I love
Yeah.
that. I love like a, hey, let's
Yeah.
jump, let's go.
Yeah,
I was in
yeah.
my big glasses and my pajamas. Like, it was perfect. I was like,
Yeah.
great, I'm right here. Let's go.
And that time we got to laughing, and then I was like, okay, this is going to be, we'll have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, my first impression was, I don't particularly like when I hear people say this about others because something about it sounds.
It's like I'm
but
waiting for my report card.
It's
Like this.
it's just so grounded and kind and down to earth. You know,
Oh my God,
like
no.
you were just so willing to collaborate, which I think says a lot. Because it's so your ship, it's so your thing. You know.
So we started by saying that this is not our usual setup. And the way we normally do things, Ariana, there's a little tripod with a cell phone on like a desk, and that's what we
That's
use
what
to
I
record.
thought.
Yeah,
but
that's what
I've
we-
seen it. I've watched.
So
I
we
was
were
like,
gonna.
where the hell am I?
We have
I
a group
pitched we
chat.
should do the same
That's
thing.
what I say. So we have a group chat, and I was like,
I
guys, there's
would've
no way we're
loved
doing
that.
cell phones with Ariana, right? And Penn's
Why?
like, he said, Ariana is so chill and down to earth. Like, we can do the cell phones.
Oh my God, that's
I was
so
like, I will
nice.
have a heart attack if we do Ariana Grande. on cell. But I just want you to know that he really did have that impression of you.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you. This is
Yeah. So this isn't even for you. This is for Nava.
This is for me.
This is really for.
good. I'm happy to be here. This is also like
This is a great place for a spin move.
Is this a
I was going to ask, but I was like, oh, the cameras probably can't show his face.
There's no way.
really
There's
good.
no way. There's no way. Not in this context. No, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. I cut you off. What were you going to say? What were you going to say? I did. I don't even.
Yeah, you set yourself up for this
But I'm not
exact
going to do it.
scenario.
Okay. So just cut to when it doesn't happen.
But seriously, thank you for doing it. It's the most. It's the coolest thing ever. Like
It's the best video.
It is
So great.
so thrilling and what an honor. And the way you cared about it and like took it so seriously and brought it to a whole new level is so appreciated. And also like it's so much more meaningful. The ending that
glad you think so.
No, it's beautiful. I'm very grateful. Sorry.
I did get to be. I was whipped. Not the way that it sounds, but.
That was intense.
There's the professional whip handler. What was his name? They called him T-Rex. What was his real name?
T-Rex.
We just call him T-Rex.
That's the only thing they ever said.
The only way to learn how to receive a fake, like, it's whipped next to you and then it just curls around you. And the only way to learn how that is totally fine is to trust the man and let him do it. So you don't get to do like a slow whip. Then it won't whip.
And it's
he just
loud.
has to be like, all right, so I'm just gonna whip this right next to you, and then it's gonna curl around your legs. And I'm like, okay. And I'm standing there barefoot, and he's just like, all right, you ready? And everybody, the whole crew was standing there watching because it's like, well, I'm just gonna
scary.
stand
Yeah.
here, and this
I was
man
like-
is just gonna whip next to me.
Yeah.
And then it's just gonna curl gently around my feet. And so, and I've done a lot of like weird stunts
I
that
was going to
require.
say, I'm surprised this is your first whipping.
Well, it was my first. Yeah.
Crazy. Impossible
Yeah.
to believe.
Wow.
That was the right way to say it, by the way.
With all of the things on you, like you'd think. There's
Yeah, no, but
something-
no, I've done a lot of crazy things, but not that in
Wow.
particular. And so it was just another moment where I was like, yeah, I'm here. And he did, he just whips it, cracks so loud, just right next to me, and then it just curls so gently around my, like a puppy.
And my
and,
mom was like, me next.
Yeah. Your mom.
My mom was
She's
like,
like,
go,
but you
do
can
it,
get
do it."
closer. Get closer.
She was like, Ariana, you have to try it. I was like, I'm terrified.
Yeah.
It was like nothing.
And then we had to do it running. So he's like, all right, now we're going to do it running. And so then it's just like, okay, so we're going to do that. And I'm just going to, that was pretty interesting to me.
Those falls were great.
Yeah.
They were intense. They
And
were.
we did the makeshift.
I'm dying to tell.
Oh, that's what you were.
Yes, that's why I kept going like this a while ago.
Shoulder pads. That's
Sorry
right.
that I kept going like this for a
Yes.
while to everyone. They needed knee pads because of course he's doing these like falls and they're real falls and we don't have like a mat. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm doing it and we're doing it but can we find knee pads? And my mom, who is always in like an 80s shaped look,
Yeah.
no matter what it is, took out her silicone like
Wow.
cutlets that are used for like bras.
Yeah.
And then underneath it there was another fabric one. And like the silicone ones are what ended up on your knees.
Both.
Both.
And we took both. We took
And
both.
I
From
taped
your
them.
mom's.
This
And
is
I taped
amazing.
them
Yeah.
to his knees.
Wow.
That's on camera
I
somewhere.
hope there's a picture of this.
Yeah, no, there's
Yeah.
video. It's
Yeah.
definitely
It's amazing.
it's
we
there.
just like wrapped some gaff tape around my knee and
But
that thing, and then
they
I think
couldn't
we
find
did
it.
one on elbows too. Yeah, we did them on both elbows so I could really fall, because I've taken enough falls to know that the first time you do it you think you're okay, but you keep doing it and you get
Yeah.
so badly bruised. I'm still bruised right now from a sequence I did last week where I had pads on, but
But isn't that so rewarding? Isn't it?
the pain, the bruising.
Yeah, like when you shoot a scene that you're like, that was
I'm
so.
feeling one right now.
Yeah.
I'm just like, is it rewarding? Yeah, you know what? I'll give you that.
I love the battle wounds.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
You're like,
yes,
no.
and so, no. I mean, I think first time. Although I will say this, the last 2 days, I was shooting. Well, the last 3 days, I was shooting a really long sequence where I had to be wet. But I think it's a sign of maybe maturity, age, something, laziness. I finally let my stunt double do something that I could have done.
Wow.
I've never done that before.
That's crazy.
Never done it before.
That's
And
crazy.
And there was
Good
a
for you.
shot. I'm sitting down. And I realized they're shooting it with him. To be fair, they didn't ask. They just started doing it, and I was like, "What? No,
All right.
that's fine. That's fine. I actually really just want to sit down right now." You know?
Yeah, and he was probably so excited.
He was. Yeah.
Yeah, I always think about that.
It was fun. Yeah.
I loved working with you.
Oh, thank you.
It was so fun.
I loved working with you too. You remember how I said in the beginning when we first sat there, we shot the little coda first, the bit where they're chilling.
Yeah.
And I think at some point I said, because that was, you know, this happens a lot of times when you're shooting a movie or a TV
That
show.
takes
You have to suddenly generate this relationship that doesn't exist yet.
Immediately, because it's the first scene on the schedule.
Yeah, and I said, like, I just wish we were shooting this last, because I feel like we could become friends, but that doesn't exist yet, and I hate manufacturing it. But you know, it worked.
It did.
It was still all good. But I think it's a testament. Just I'm saying that I did really enjoy it, and I could tell that I was going to enjoy it, and so I was like, I wish we could just be laughing about this 12 hours from now when we could really be laughing about.
Well, I was
something
laughing.
already. Yes, yeah.
I do think it played well.
It did.
played
No,
well.
it completely worked.
Also, he's allergic to cats, and I didn't know. And there were 17 cats
Yeah,
in that
there
scene.
were-
And his,
there were.
he
How
was
did
like,
you do it?
I mean, you know, it wasn't that long. And you
Claritin
just-
free.
Yes.
or any other provider.
Sponsor.
you know.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
If you know me, you would actually know that I love dogs. If you only listen casually, you might think that I don't. And Nava loves to joke that I hate dogs. This is not true. The thing about me is that I want them to live a truly good life. Like I'm talking, I want them to live the way they were meant to live. Part of this, I have a husky. He's incredibly picky about what he wants to eat. Incredibly picky. Sometimes he will not eat for 2 days when he's got perfectly good stuff that the little one loves. I've come to learn that most foods in the pet aisle suffer from all of the same problems. They're ultra processed, they're low in protein, they are high in carbs, and they're full of artificial stuff that no species needs to thrive. The good news is that Maeve is radically different. Dogs are biologically primed to digest and absorb key nutrients from an unprocessed, low-carb, high-protein, raw meat diet. This is how they became dogs, right? And Maeve's raw food diet is formulated to meet their needs, to meet your dog's needs. Fancy that. And get this, most dog parents see results in 28 days or less with Maeve. Maeve is the first and only human-grade raw food for dogs, made with real ingredients you can name just by looking. USDA beef, chicken breast, kale, zucchini, green beans, and even blueberries. No fillers, no preservatives, nothing artificial. What you see is what you get. Make the switch to raw today. Right now, Maeve is offering 20% off your first order at meetmaeve.com/podcrushed. That's spelled MAEV. Go to meetmaeve.com/podcrushed to receive 20% off your first order. That's meetmaev.com/podcrushed. This episode is brought to you by Philo. I know it's not just me. TV has gotten really complicated. I'm either endlessly searching for my favorite shows or I subscribe to probably over a dozen different streaming services now to make sure that I can watch everything I want to watch, my kids want to watch, the wife wants to watch. You don't even save that much money anymore. In fact, I think I spend more money than I did on cable. I'm not sure if it's the same for you, but thankfully Philo has changed all that for me. One service, all the stuff I need. Philo's got current seasons of the shows I can't miss live on networks like A&E, MTV, Discovery, and TLC. It has classics like The Office, Martin, and Friends, which I never get sick of, and all of the incredible originals on AMC Plus from Mad Men to Orphan Black. Don't forget the library of more than 75,000 movies and shows, all of which I can save and rewatch anytime for a whole year. With Philo, you can never miss a minute of shows like Friends, Catfish, Paw Patrol for the kids. And Philo has amazing features like unlimited DVR for 1 year. And it also allows for multiple profiles and multiple streams. Best of all, with Philo, you get all of this for just $28 a month. No contracts, no hassles, just one subscription and a world of entertainment. So go to philo.tv/podcrushed and check it out for a free 7-day trial. That's philo.tv/podcrushed to start watching.
Okay, Ariana, we do want to talk about Eternal Sunshine, which is a beautiful album. I really personally love it.
Thank you.
You kind of combed through and you stripped things back for this record. Now looking back, is there anything that you didn't include that you wish you could have included?
It's funny that you say that because I've been writing a little bit recently and a little bit I've been living in the studio. I will.
Wait, really?
I think I will. Yeah, I think I will. It's funny because I really thought that it was just a very concise body of work that is what it is. And I think forever in my head, that is Eternal Sunshine, is that album. Mm-hmm. But with time, I'm like, oh, maybe there are some new ideas that could be included. So I went to the studio the day after the Met and I stayed for like 10 days and I was literally living there and I felt like I woke up today and I felt like Austin Powers being on Frozen. Like I was like, where have I been? Where have I been?
I love that reference, by the way.
Yeah.
I have
But
not
you know what I
heard
mean?
an Austin Powers reference in so long.
That's the only thing I thought. That's how I felt. I was like, what has happened? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I've been writing a lot and maybe there's some more, but I would like to do a deluxe at some point. So yeah, I had an idea of doing like 2 little mini ones or 1 big one and I'm still kind of deciding. But
So
I think
exciting.
I think just one and just like have it be like a few more little things and then be done. But
It's such a perfect album. I think it's like perfect. And
thank you. Never mind. I think that I need to throw these away.
No. So excited to hear more. But this album came out. I had gone to Scotland with Penn Penn doesn't know this though, on a work trip. We were developing a video.
I didn't know it was work.
Yeah.
No.
We were developing a video game together.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, just wait till we tell you what it's about.
Yeah.
We can't do it on tape. But
Yeah.
Wait.
We will tell you after. But anyway, right before the trip, I had like made a very bold gesture towards someone. And it really didn't go at all the way that I thought. So the whole trip, I felt like sick to my stomach.
Oof.
It was really a thing. But my flight back was the day that Eternal Sunshine dropped. So I downloaded it. Didn't know you were going to be a guest on the show, but wanted to hear it. Loved it. It was a 17-hour journey from Scotland to LA. And the entire time, oh my God, I'm getting so emotional. I just listened to I Wish I Hated You for 17 hours. And I was just like crying. It was like so cathartic. And I don't think I've ever had that experience with a song of just like, I could listen to it for 17 hours. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
So I wanted to thank you for
beautiful.
that. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. That's first of all, sorry. Second of all, oh my God, that's like so special to hear, because it's like putting things like that out is so utterly terrifying. I really thought before Eternal Sunshine came out that I should hide when it comes out because there was just a lot of soul exposure on it. And stories like that make it feel so like that's why music is the most important, is one of the most important things, but that's so sweet and sorry that you went through that.
Yeah, but it really helped me process it, and I feel like just like let it go faster.
Yeah.
Just like, all right, 17 hours of mourning and
faster.
Love it.
more
That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm never listening to it again.
Yeah. Now I get it.
That's one of the.
Do you actually feel like can you go back and listen to your music, or is it once you're done with it, it's like I don't want to hear it anymore?
No, it's interesting because sometimes I like to listen to it. I think in the process of making it, I listen to only it, and I'm like obsessive beyond imagination, like in a way that's like, wow, get help. But no, you know, I am sorry, but certain ones I'm okay to not hear ever again. But just because of just like what they hold, there's like so much.
Yeah.
But certain other ones, my relationship to them has changed over the years and through performing them as well.
Yeah.
Certain ones that I necessarily didn't like as much as I like my favorites when I was younger have become so important to me because I love seeing what they do for the audience and what they have done for people, and stories, literally stories like the one you shared. It changes my relationship to the music too. So it's constantly evolving. It is. But Eternal Sunshine, I listen to some of Eternal Sunshine. Yeah, I do.
It's so beautiful. You were filming Wicked as you were doing this album, or this album was right after?
No, so this album was right after. I was very, very, very separate during all of Wicked. I tried to not touch any ounce of music. The one thing I did was the remix for Abel of Die For You.
Okay.
And it was towards the very beginning when we were still in rehearsals and not when we were filming. When we were filming, I was very didn't want to know that part of my life existed. I was very not even aware of it. Because I was singing so differently, but also I just didn't want to know. I didn't want it in the room with me. I just wanted to be a completely different person. And so, yeah, I was quite weird and intense, but I just was like, yeah, none of that. So I came home and I did it during the strike because I was like, what am I to do with this break? I went home and I saw my family. And then I immediately went to the studio after like 2 weeks with Nona and Dad and Boca family. And then I went to work on Eternal Sunshine. And it came together quickly, but sometimes if it feels like it's coming out of you that way, it's like, don't question it, I guess. Just kind of go with it. But then once it was done, the realization that people will hear it was terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was in between the strike and then finishing Wicked. In between.
From what I can tell, the most, this isn't the only metric, but the most streamed track
Yes.
from the album on Spotify is We Can't Be Friends.
Yes.
What do you think about that resonates the most? Like, you know, like what makes that, because there is something very universal, extremely poignant in it. And I'm curious what you think that is.
Well, I think the beautiful thing about what has happened with that song is that it means something so different to everyone who listens to it and who hears it. For some people, it's about a romantic relationship. For some people, it's about a friendship. For some people, it's about like just being perceived at all by others and feeling not understood, or like people don't get you, or like this is like, I think everyone kind of understands that feeling that is so hard to make peace with, of like, there's a version of me in someone else's story that isn't the one that I know is the one. How is that? But it's something that every single person, it universally applies. It applies to every single person. Yeah. So I think that's why. I think it's kind of hard to process that. And I don't know, I think maybe it was just a song that people needed to hear at that moment. It's like, it can really be about whatever is causing you a hard time. Anything, you know, it's, I don't know, I guess. I don't know. That's what I would assume, but I don't know.
No, I think you're right. I definitely think you're right. I hadn't even, for me, I hadn't distilled it yet to that most universal place. But I think it's true where everybody is a character in someone else's story.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like I can hear you writing about that.
Right. And it's like, I wish we could not give up on this dynamic. Like, I wish we could have the closeness that we once had. But like, if you're gonna always flip flop like this, then it's like, or just, you know, I don't know. For me, it comes from like that place. I don't know, but I interrupted and said something stupid, but
No, you're answering a question.
It's just
we're here interviewing you.
That's a fair point. No, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it's interesting because it can be interpreted in many ways.
Was the thinking in casting Evan Peters first? And then is it a serial killer tour?
I knew someone was gonna say this.
Yeah.
I knew everyone was gonna be like, "Why the fuck? What is this pattern?
Ariana?
Do we need to talk
Ariana
about this
trying to
pattern
say?
here?" Maybe there's something to look at. No, I'm kidding.
No, that's not on you. That's on our casting directors.
Yeah. No, but I was infatuated with serial killers when I was younger.
Were you? Mm-hmm. Well, put a pause on that.
It's not nothing.
Let's put a pause on
It's
that.
not nothing.
I'm interested in that.
It's not nothing. We'll put it on the shelf for a little. I'm serious.
Yeah, I feel like that's not uncommon to be
No.
like true crime.
Yes,
Yeah.
very that. But we'll come back to it. But I do have one thing. No, it's not funny. No, it's fine. Will you remember where we are? We're never going to get through anything.
No, tell us.
It's been 17 hours. My leg is numb. My right side is tingling.
We should let
My
you go.
eyes.
lost track
No,
of
no,
time,
don't let me.
totally.
Ariana is officially in the cage.
I
Not
am.
letting her out.
No, I am. No, but my one thing aside is that years ago, before the Dahmer series, it was in a Q&A with fans, with young fans. It was young fans at the time. It was like, I think it was like in between like me being Kat and pop stuff. So it was like a
Okay.
younger group.
Okay.
But it was with a parent. Someone said, if you could have dinner with anyone living or dead, who would it be? And I was like, oh, you're so cute. Who, Mom and Dad, is it okay if I give the real answer? And they were like, sure, I guess. What's the answer? And I was like, I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer's pretty fascinating. I think I would have loved to have met him. Like, you know, maybe with a third party or something involved. But I have questions. I have a lot to, I don't know. I would love to. And the parents were like, we'll explain it later, sweetheart. And I was like,
So
I'll just sing problem and go home.
So a little bit of context, at least for you two, you know, at least your mother is very into
oh my God,
horror
macabre,
and
like-
this macabre kind of,
yeah.
but not so, I wouldn't say not so morbid. She, from what I could understand in the world's longest 90-minute conversation we had, was
Horror. She's gothy.
Yeah, she loves Halloween.
Yeah.
Which I thought it was this very charming. There's an element of performance there. She seems to love the what would you call that? I feel like there's a really great word for it. It's not camp. It's something else.
Thrill.
It's like, yeah, sure.
The thrill of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought it was very interesting that your family seems to have this. I imagine
Horror.
I imagine like before television it would have been you would have gathered around a fire to tell stories. But in this
Yeah, it's
version
theatrical because that's
yes.
really theatrical.
Yeah.
Nothing is more campy than camping.
Right.
Around a fire. And like, that's the most theatrical thing I've ever heard. Horror.
Wow. Yeah.
But
That's
horror.
going to be a quote. Nothing is more campy than camping.
No, but it really is. That's the campiest thing I've ever heard. Why are we doing this? And it's
you're right.
performative.
You're right.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Telling spooky stories around a campfire is
So
the
true.
most theatrical.
That's so true.
And you
That
know
is
what's
so-
funny? I really don't like. There's something about camp that I'm only learning to appreciate. Like I really am not
Camp or like camp?
camping. We're talking.
Okay.
We're just talking about straight camping. No,
The boy
no.
is- Sorry, go on, sorry.
I guess what I'm saying is that like even though it's not my sensibility, I really was charmed by your mother's interest in this like horror camp.
Yeah.
You know.
It's the best.
And so I get from what I get, like, you know, she seems to have given it to her kids. You guys have this.
Definitely.
There's so much more we could ask about your album, but you also gave such a great like track by track interview with Zach Sang. So
That's true.
So
Yeah,
we
it's-
will-
who
that's the
cares?
only reason why. Otherwise,
And we already
totally
teased the
go there.
deluxe. Let's
Yeah.
get out of here.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's
yeah.
get out of album
Yeah.
more.
Let's
Yeah,
talk
I-
about Wicked.
okay.
I love talking about Wicked.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. This is a nice segue actually because I am not the demographic. I'm just not. Like, and that's a
Given
great
the
thing.
fact that he thought it was defying gravity.
So I couldn't tell.
I thought it was about
you did
physics.
not bury the lead.
No, and I'm when I saw that trailer,
Oh, you saw it. Yay.
I was just like,
Yeah.
this
incredible.
looks amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible.
This looks so good.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Like everything about it. I've only been to the movie theaters once since the pandemic, and it was for Nope. I really want to go to the theaters for this.
Oh my
This is not.
gosh.
I'm not a. You know, I don't pander.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't.
I really think it looks so compelling, and I have seen I did see it on stage.
Yeah.
Was impressed because kind of like Rent, I was like, I don't know what I'm getting into here. You know, and
Sacrilegious.
well, no, but I'm being honest about that.
Yeah.
Like it's I'm not the demographic. Fair.
Yeah.
Not everybody's in the demographic of these things. I did like it on stage because I thought the lore was interesting.
Yeah.
But it didn't necessarily. I still not the demographic. This looks to me like suddenly I am. It's so compelling. It feels to me like they've taken, again, almost like maybe the psychology of the lore or something, and brought it to life in this really cinematic way. So please tell us, like, from the first
That's
moment,
exciting.
you
Thank you.
pursued this.
Yes.
From what I understand, you pursued it like heavily, right? And I
Yes.
don't know why they weren't banging down your door, but
What? Because it's like something that so must be earned. That's the thing.
that's fair.
That is the
Fair.
thing. This is like, I'm a Wicked fan through and through. And I was the first person to be like, the person who earns it needs to get it. I'm at peace with it if I don't get it. I know that this is in good hands with Mark Platt and with John Chu. Like, I trust these people. It's like Steven Schwartz and everyone is heavily involved. I know it's going where it's meant to go. So I was begging for an audition. I was not like, oh, you know, people, it's funny if anyone says that to me, because I'm like, oh, then you don't know what is required of Glinda then. Then, you know, she has a long journey. And I think it's just something that is really special. And as much as the lore is sort of, it's so beautiful. I mean, it's the most stunning visuals, and the sets were real practical sets, and it's not you know,
so
there's
impressive.
barely any CGI. Of course, we didn't.
Unbelievable.
The flying monkeys, sure, they weren't there, but the rest of it, these were real, like the biggest, like the most beautiful, elaborate sets, and you know, but it all really does fall on the relationship between these two women, and so that's a big ask, and that's a big to do. So I was very excited and grateful for the chance to even audition, because I really just wanted a, you know, chance to prove that I should even be seen for it. So I was in vocal lessons and acting lessons with Eric Vitro and Nancy Banks for like months before my first audition, because Glinda's a soprano, like opera soprano, not in the way that I'm like a soprano in my pop, whatever. It's just a very different placement in the voice. And I was just training it because even though like the notes were there, it's a different placement, and it's like singing them completely differently. So I wanted to like train my muscles. It's like the same as any sort of training muscles in the body for a run or some, you know, an athlete would. It's the same kind of thing, because the vocal cords, and it's just muscles. So I would go every day and try to like learn the tools that I needed to sing and to be Glinda through and through. I just wanted to know her really well. I didn't want to spend a lot of time practicing the actual scenes, because I didn't like to be used to anything. I don't like to rehearse much, other than like obviously needing to rehearse the scene. But I don't like to get stuck in choices. So I just wanted to get to know her a lot. And I worked with Nancy Banks on the script. We read like the whole script, not just the scenes or the sides, to know her and ask questions and blah, blah, blah. And I just wanted it so badly. This is like the normal thing that you do when you prepare and you want something. But I just like really did. So I did the work leading up, and then I went in 3 times.
Wow.
It was so fun, but so like the most nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you feel nervous?
I felt like I was like buzzy, like floaty, but out of body in a good way. I just felt like really excited. I felt prepared, and I felt excited and thankful to even be seen. I'm a huge fan of John's anyway. So I was just so excited to see him again and like meet him in this context. And it was just so funny, and I love it. And I remember performing Popular for Tiffany from Telsey, and she had a mask on because it was still kind of, it was during like a little wave of, it was like, there was a wave of COVID. And I could see in her eyes that she was giggling, and it was just the best thing. And it felt special. And I don't know, it was fun. And the waiting was so impossible.
You mean what?
In between the call back and like, then the screen test, the chemistry tests, and
How long was that process, do you think?
I think the whole thing from my first audition to being cast was like 3 months, 3.5 months, something like that.
Right.
That's maybe too much. Maybe 2.5, 3.
But that whole time you're just kind of like living in it.
It felt
You're-
like 95 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had a little pink section in my closet. I bought a bunch of pink clothes just for Glinda.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Love that.
Before you got it.
Before I got
you
it.
manifested.
No, because I needed to be prepared. If she had to go for the callback, what was she going to wear? I was deciding on the day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Underwear.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Ellen Green, when she did Little Shop of Horrors, said that she even chose her underwear based on what Audrey would have worn. And I was like, love that.
Yeah.
That's I love
really
it.
cool.
Yeah.
If you're anything like me, my condolences, because it's a little bit hard up here. But what it does mean is that you care about where your food comes from, especially when it comes to quality cuts of meat. So that's why I want to talk a little bit about ButcherBox. They deliver 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork-raised, crate-free, and wild-caught seafood right to your doorstep. So with ButcherBox, you're not getting just convenience, you're getting guaranteed quality. You can imagine the best cuts of meat chosen by experts, delivered frozen at peak freshness. Frozen at peak freshness. Ooh. Actually, I've been cooking with ButcherBox for last few weeks now with chicken, and I got to tell you, it's like night and day. The cuts are really flavorful and tender. The thighs and the chicken are just so I've been adding them to every box I get. Plus, ButcherBox offers free shipping on all orders and exclusive member deals. They also include these great recipes with every box, perfectly curated to complement the cuts you've selected. Sign up for ButcherBox today by going to butcherbox.com/podcrushed and use code podcrushed at checkout and enjoy your choice of bone-in chicken thighs, top sirloins, or salmon in every box for an entire year, plus get $20 off. Again, that's butcherbox.com/podcrushed and use code podcrushed.
Finding a good doctor is stressful, right? Specialists, dentists, even a good GP can be hard to pin down. And then there's the whole song and dance of finding someone who takes your insurance. That is why ZocDoc is here to make things a million times easier on all of us. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near you and instantly book appointments with them online. It's just this really intuitive, smart platform that I think we should have all started using years ago. I love the patient reviews in particular. I honestly could spend hours scrolling through them. It makes it so much easier for me to book someone knowing they were exactly what I'm looking for. Don't let the hassle of finding a doctor keep you from getting the care you need. On ZocDoc, you can filter specially for those who take your insurance, are located near you, and can treat whatever condition you're looking to manage. It's like having a personal health concierge in your pocket. We use ZocDoc all the time, and we know you will love it too. Go to ZocDoc.com/podcrushed and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/podcrushed, ZocDoc.com/podcrushed.
Ariana, I screamed when the trailer came out, and there's the part where you're like hanging on a fan.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, how can she, like, I actually just screamed. Like, I didn't know you were so athletic. Like,
Oh my God,
it's like we're going to see so
you.
many new sides of you. How was the physical training for the role?
So fun. I mean, we I did Pilates every morning in the whatever leading up to filming, and then it was fun. I just loved the dance rehearsals, the physical training, and I love stunts.
Yeah.
I love stunts. I love the things we're talking about, like finding bruises or scrapes later, like in the bath. I'm like,
It's all coming
You earned
together.
it.
All
You
the
earned
things
it.
we've learned about you are coming
but
together.
I love
You're
it.
dinner guest.
It's just, to me, it's like, oh, we did it. I was in it. We were in it.
Yeah.
We felt it, or we didn't feel it till the cut happened.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I love it. It was really fun. I love talking about Wicked.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, the ceiling fan, it's just so funny because I was like, this is my intention to just do this for Elphaba, to show her that like I'm strong and fun and I can do magical things too in my own way. Like it was so funny.
awesome.
Like I just am in awe of her, so I want to do
Yeah.
something fancy for her, and that was it. It's
That's
crazy.
really cool.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Were there any songs that felt particularly difficult that you had to work on extra hard? I mean, you've been singing. It sounds like you've been singing
Like
the music.
operatically?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think obviously No One Mourns the Wicked, which is the opening of the song. Not obviously because no one knows the show and on the way that we do, that Penn does especially. But
No one knows the show.
no one knows it better than Penn. No, but I think just sort of like the very classical operatic stuff. I wanted to make sure it sounded authentic, and so I trained really hard to do that stuff. Yeah, it was fun.
At the Met Gala, you said that the first day of filming was the most emotional day of your life.
Yes.
And why? What was it that made it like so emotional?
It probably wasn't the most emotional day of my life. To be fair, I was on a red carpet and couldn't hear myself or anyone. I was like, it was so emotional. No, it really was though. I think just kind of, it was for the first time, the two of us in costume in the dorm room. The cameras are here. Like we had rehearsed in those rooms. We had done a bunch of fittings. We had done the makeup test and the hair test, and we'd done everything kind of separately. But it was just crazy because I was like, I am looking at Alphaba and I'm Glinda and today's the day. And it was like this whoosh of like, it was just so emotional. And John made the most beautiful speech about how special it is and how we need to save every minute and keep it a safe space for everyone. And if someone's feeling a feeling or we need to stop a take, if there's emergency, whatever, everyone be open and be honest and vocal with each other. And he made it such a beautiful experience. He's so mindful of everyone. Wow. He treats every dancer, every single person, everyone like they're number one on the call sheet. And it's like such a beautiful, beautiful thing to experience. I am spoiled for life because of how John conducted that set.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was remarkable.
It also looks like Cynthia delivered an incredible,
absolutely life-changing. Yeah, I'm spoiled. Talk about spoiled.
Yeah, I was just thinking like the sort of bond, because we've been talking a lot about how kind of the entrance into it is from music, from your whole career as a musician. But then there's this purely, there's part of it that's just acting. There's part of it that is just that, the rapport, the chemistry, the emotional relationship between you two. And I guess I'm just curious, like, you said before that you loved the experience of community, the aspect of communal, whatever that is, in acting before, and then you've gone into this pop star realm, which I don't mean to.
No, that's what it was.
It's in music, and then you became a pop star, so therefore it's just so singular for you. I would imagine you're always just kind of like the one, and then you get to have this really rich, like reciprocal. Yeah. I would imagine that would just be so enriching and so welcome and so new in a way.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm not getting emotional again today. No, we're not doing it. But no, it really was, because I think there's something baked into these roles where you're so different from one another that you never know how it can go when you're sharing this experience in a big way, in a very big way. And people have needs and people have their own creative process, and you never know, like, are we gonna be healthy? And it was just the most like symbiotic, beautiful. I feel so grateful to have done this with her. Sorry. It's just, sorry, oh my God, the campiest campfire I've ever been to. But no, to work with someone who is just absolutely in their own league as a talent in the world, there's no one like her. She's an alien. And to just feel like we somehow speak the same language, and somehow we're destined to do this together and to feel safe every single day together and hold space. We both have similar but different processes, similar but different needs. We're both opposite and the same, and to have the love that we have and trust that we have, and like really truly like deep love that we have for each other is Like, I think it all kind of happened the way it did because of that and because we were supposed to be in each other's lives. I really do. Oh my God, sorry.
No, that's like
I
the
love her
theme
so
of one of the
much.
songs. It's so beautiful.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah.
But like, that's the thing. I know I have been changing for good is the thing everyone's
Yeah.
going to say. But really, I was a different person before we knew each other. Like, I hope, learned a lot from each other, but I learned so much as a person from her. And she loves hard. She is a Capricorn and she loves hard and honestly and right. And I just, I'm so thankful. And it all falls on us. Like,
Yeah.
it all falls on us. And we have to show up together every day. And we need to get where we need to get emotionally, spiritually, vocally, physically. And we held the most generous space for each other every single day. We laughed every single day. We cried most days. And I love her inexplicably. Like,
That's really beautiful.
I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna like, this is too much.
Is your tattoo for Wicked?
Yes, and her performance is. You're gonna die. I'm still dead.
It
It's just
looks
my
like it.
carcass.
That's part. I mean,
And your performance, we're going to
you
dive
know,
into
you
the two
both-
of you.
No.
Yeah.
you both look stunning.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing, me not being in the demographic, I don't really remember the story very well. It seems to be a unique process of transformation for that character, for her character.
Definitely.
It's about,
Also because she brought so much new to this alphabet as well.
Sure, yeah.
You know, she fought
entirely.
for certain elements of even just the physical appearance of this alphabet.
That doesn't surprise me because it just looks like when I didn't even realize who it was at first, and then when I was just like, oh my God, this looks like it's bringing to it things that I didn't know the story was about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I was
Well,
just
that's
like,
also
I was
the-
becoming emotional watching the trailer
Oh, that makes me so happy.
because of her transformation as well. I was just like, man, this looks like it's doing a lot.
Well, I think that's also the gift of being able to do the screen version.
Right.
You know, I think that's so special to hear because it's like, that's I think why we needed to do it.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, we have for good on our things.
Aw,
Yeah.
Cool.
beautiful.
She has hers on this hand, so we feel an
Ah,
touch.
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yes.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
We
That's
can't
really
end on a
cool.
sweeter note than that. I think we should ask
Yeah.
the last question.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
If you could go back to 8 and 9-year-old getting hit by the puck, no. If you could go
God.
back to 12-year-old Ari, what would you say? Or
Oh
do?
my God. Oh my God, I don't know. This is so intense. I think listen to me. Hang on tight. We're gonna make it back, but just don't be afraid to listen to me. I gotcha. You know?
That's sweet.
Yeah. Or she would say that to me is what I think I
Right, right,
interpreted what I meant.
Yeah.
Wrong, but meant something.
Yeah.
Wrong answer, but meant
I'm
well.
more confused than when we began.
It's all about the Roche
It's
point.
the Roche point. What I would tell her is look for the Roche point.
The front of you is going to turn into spaghetti.
Yes.
Okay.
Your Roche point is coming. No,
But
I'm
you're going to
kidding.
circle something. You're going to orbit something beautiful. It's going to
Thank
be
you.
worth it.
Thank you guys so much for this. This was
Thank
so
you.
Oh, thank you
fun.
for
What a
coming.
treat.
This was so fun and beautiful, and my body's numb from sitting in the
I
same
know,
position.
we gotta get it.
No, but I'm so thankful, and I really appreciate it. Thank you for being so
Thank you.
thoughtful and
Thank you,
warm
Ariana.
and nice.
Yeah. Well, part of that is the lights.
Yeah, true. You made me emotional.
Aw.
Should we take a second?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I do.
okay.
I
I'm
have
a
a
Cancer. I'm
question
used to it.
that kind of bridges our.
I'm also a
like,
Cancer.
When?
July 17.
Cute.
What are you?
What are you all? I'm June
Pisces.
26th. Pisces. I love Pisces. What are you?
Scorpio.
I knew this already. Yeah, I knew this. I knew this.
Scorpio.
You told me this.
I'm Scorpio.
On the plane.
November 1st.
People are. I mean, I know this
I like
because
Scorpios.
I have a Scorpio. My baby is a Scorpio,
Yeah.
and whenever like people, when I was pregnant, people would be like, well,
Every now and then
what's
she
going
turned
to
to
be
you
your
like
star
this.
sign? Yeah. And I would say Scorpio.
They'd
I
be like,
learned to say it in hushed tones because people were like,
Hold it in.
oh God, I'm really sorry for you.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought
That's
Geminis
not
and
true.
Virgos were the two that people are a
No.
little bit.
Pretty much every one of them, except for Leo.
You just have to know the good ones of all signs.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
You just have to, yeah.